everyone. Today I am going to speak to you about Python. Before moving to Python, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Manjusha Kalgaonkar and I am from Opine Group. Now, before moving to Python, let me tell you my background. My background is that I was working in C and C++ in the field of embedded technology using Linux and Windows OS. For the past 4 years, I have moved to Python and I'm working also on Python and machine learning. I have a total 18 plus years of experience and I would like to talk to you today about Python and why I moved to Python. The person you see on the screen is Theodor von Rossum. He is known absolutely as the dictator of Python because he was the founder of Python or the author of Python and he was the chairman of Python language up to July 2018. In this small session, we will not go into the details of the history of Python, but Guido von Rossum is an important name in Python. Now, we just said that everybody is moving to Python or Python is the keyword. Let us see who has switched to Python. One of the few of the companies who have switched to Python are as follows. First is Bank of America. Why did Bank of America switch to Python? Bank of America decided to switch to Python because it wanted a powerful tool which would help him to crunch the financial data. What do you mean by crunching of financial data? Crunching is summarizing of financial data. We have got data frames in Python which help the data to get summarized, and then it is very easy to create any kinds of charts like bar charts or pie charts, etc., using these kind of tools in Python. And Facebook also decided to move to Python because the data analysis which Facebook was using, it is very simple using Python, and the major benefit was it was a single programming language which could work across multiple applications. What do you mean by one single programming language across multiple applications? That it is can work with databases like SQL Server. It can also work with C, C++, Java, etc. So you have a Python code, and it becomes almost a universal code. Also, we see that Instagram decided to move to Python because Instagram realized that the Django network of Python or the Python's framework is a very powerful tool in the web development. And Instagram found it very, very easy for web development using this Django. I just said I wanted to search because why is it the keyword? I got almost 20,000 IT companies and so many big names, GS Labs or Ula Cabs, Persistent, etc. And this is not limited to outside India. Even people in India today, they all require Python. To be to understand this better, I can just tell you that many of my students who have done Python and ML today have got secured a job even in pre-placement. Now we just said many people have switched to Python. Now we will just understand why Instagram moved to Python. Instagram moved to Python because it has become very popular. Why did it become popular? Because this as the syntax is very simple and very easy to understand. The speed of development is very fast. There is a huge library, so developers like it a lot, and they just use those libraries and go ahead with their work. As I told you, I was just searching the job openings, Accenture, Leuven Technology, and I absolutely 3,000 plus jobs were available on Naukri.com. Now, what is Python? Python is a high level, interpreted, and general purpose dynamic programming language. What do you mean by high level? High level, what we know is what we work today are all high level languages. C, C++, any language is a high level language, any programming language. Even Java is a high level language. It is interpreted. What do you mean by interpreted? I will be explaining in the slides which follow. It is a general purpose language. What do you mean by general purpose? It is a 5GL. Lot of interfaces, just as I told you beforehand. And the syntax of Python is very simple. So whatever code we make in Java or C or C++, it crunches to 2 to 3 lines. Big codes crunch to small codes. Now, we are just going to see one by one what you mean. What are the features of Python? It is an interactive language. What do you mean by interactive language? You can work, you can store your file as .py and execute it in the form of a module, execute it in the form of a from the shell prompt, etc. Or I can directly run my commands if I have just two or three from my shell prompt as and when I need them. So it becomes an interactive language. It is modular. As I just said, I create my own module and someone else uses my module, or I use someone else's module. It is very easy. It is dynamically typed. This is a very strong feature, which is a feature of the 5GLs. When I say x is equal to 10 in C, if I have to write x is equal to 10, I will write int C, int x is equal to 10, where the x is typecast as an integer, and then I can store only integer values to x. Here I can say x is equal to 10, and then I can say x is equal to opine group. When I write the first statement, x is equal to 10, it creates the data type of x as integer, whereas when I say x is equal to opine group, it will convert that data type automatically to string. So this is called as dynamically typecasting. This is a very strong feature of Python or 5GL. So Python is called as a 5GL. It is object oriented. All the features of C++, where you get different objects, or of Java, where you create your own objects, you use your standard objects, etc., and standard classes, where you have got both the data members and the member functions clubbed together into a class, is very easy in Python. So Python is an object-oriented language. It gives us all the power of C++. It is portable. It can run on Unix, Mac, Windows 2000 and later. It is a high-level language, just as I discussed, English-like. Hence, you don't have to know all the details of the hardware and just move on. Then, it is extensible in C and C++. It is extensible in C and C++ means that I have got a code which my previous team has written, which is written in C or C++. I just embed that code. Also, the code written in Python, I can just find a new code in Python, which is very easy. I just send it to them, and they can include it in their code and start executing. This uh, slide shows you all the features in one go. All many features we have already discussed, like easy, expressive, but an important feature it is a free and it's an open source. You go to python.org and just download Python, start working on it. It is portable, just as we discussed, various platforms. It is object oriented. It is interpreted. What do you mean by interpreted? I just had mentioned a little bit before that I will tell you what is interpreted. If I'm working in C, I create my .c file. I have to create an object file before I create an executable file. Here I have got a .py file. I can start executing it, and it will start executing it line by line. No object code is required. It has a large standard library which can work on scientific applications as well as on database applications. The GUI programming using Tinkerton is very easy in Python, and as I told you, it is dynamically typecast, so you do not have to specify a variable beforehand and just start working on the variable. Then we discussed the several features of Python. Hence, Python has got a variety of applications here. Web applications, internet development, GUI, just I told you, different desktop GUI applications and other applications, scientific and numeric, because Matplotlib or Seaborn, etc. All these applications are scientific along with graphical interfaces. The software development is very fast, so it works in software development. In education, today we see even school children are switching over to Python. The schools are introducing Python even in the standards like 7th and 8th, because it is very easy to understand. The logic goes fast and the children can follow it a lot. They get interested. business applications, so just as I mentioned, database applications, SQL Server, Excel, etc. You just can take all those files, .txt files, etc., and use it. Gaming is an important application of Python where many games are use Python and go ahead. Network programming becomes very easy with Python because the network interfaces are very simple. And the database access, as just as I said, huge amount of database access. So these are some of the applications of Python. Many of my students, today itself, one of my students was asking that I am just a civil engineering person and I don't have any background of programming. So should I learn any programming before I go to Python? No, no. No prerequisites to learn Python. You are a school children, you are a working person, you are a different kind of student. I have got students from MSc Geography who have moved to Python development because they need it into their geoinformatics. There are people from biotechnology, engineering people, of course, they are using Python. And today, every student wants to learn Python. And he says, if he knows Python, he feels he has got a feather in his hat, which is very true. So I say there are no prerequisites. Then why learn Python at Opine? There are so many courses where you can learn anywhere, but why Opine? Opine has got a unique characteristics that we are all practitioners. Whatever we learn, we teach. And when we learn something in our industry, we ensure that our students are aware of that because there are so many industry trends which cannot be just taught in college life or in the colleges or anywhere else, which we include in our syllabus so that you are aware of it. And secondly, we teach the students to start learning or developing on their own. We do not spoon feed the children. So everybody is able to develop it and it gives them a lot of confidence. I would like to just add that this year, my students who are in third year with Python and ML, they have got an internship and also pre-placement right at the third year itself and very, very good internships. So I would like to meet all of you in Opine and to discuss it better. Thank you.